I was doing the Running Man dance. You just can't see my legs. Hey, folks, welcome to Caching in the Northwest. This is the podcast from the birthplace of geocaching right here in the great Pacific Northwest. Now, it's Thursday night at 9 p.m. Pacific. I'm Chris of the Northwest, and we're going to talk about caches and cachers from here and all around the globe. So while you're singing along to Sonny Cher, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
Oh, yes. And tonight we're talking about GC9FAVE, the discovered while geocaching locationless cache. As always, live audience, share your thoughts with us too. We want to hear from you. I am Wits, and it's time to bring in our recurring Rhesus. Some say he's got you, babe. And others say he won't forget his booties because it's cold out there. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
Hello, my friends. Good to be here with you. Hope everybody's having a good day. Hope the chat room folks are having a good day. Before we get into anything else, a quick reminder that we appreciate the support of our patrons who help to keep this podcast coming each and every week. Thanks to Land Sharks, one of our corporate Denali level sponsors. Hey, check out Land Sharks sale. They have 20% off most products plus a gift with purchase. You'll get one free trackable tag for every $25 spent before shipping and tax. Check it all out at landsharkz.ca. And don't forget our other corporate Denali level sponsor, Gold Country Geotourism. Visit exploregoldcountry.com to learn more about the geotours and the region, and don't forget to download the app. If you want to know more about supporting this here show, well, click that Patreon link on the cachingnw.com, a website.
Yes, a website. Folks, it's time for the glow. Now, as per my ritual, I will ask, what is a glow? You may ask.
What is a glow?
Thank you. It's worked so far. Thanks for keeping it going. I'm going to hit that 1 week. Nobody's going to ask me back, and I'm just going to have to sit here in silence. The glow is the geocaching log of the week. So whether you read it or whether you wrote it, we want to hear about it because great logs simply make geocaching better. Now, you can send an email or a field recording. That's a recording you make while you're out in the field. To feedback@cachingnw.com. You can call into 253-693-TFTC and show us just how you glow.
That's right. And this week's glow is for the geocache GC9FAVE, or Here Kitty Kitty by Diz Fizz. The log was from Coldest Waffle 708. It reads, I finded it. Thanks a lot. I and my family are staying here for the week. I'm originally from Oregon. I and my dad came on Alder Creek Road and had to take our bikes down the bank and over the creek. Very hard. We then went on the trail to the left towards our house.
It's a very enthusiastic glow.
Yes, it was. Short, sweet, enthusiastic, and fun.
Perfect. You know what?
So,
sure beats the heck out of a TFTC. So good job.
Right.
Oh,
yes.
And I think we should pitch in and get Coldest Waffle a toaster.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Then he can change his name to Toaster Waffle.
Toasted waffle.
I would say a brand name, but we're not being sponsored by them. There you go. Just saying. Not saying.
Ergo, we can't say it.
Well played, my friend. Hey, tonight we are talking about GC9FAVE, F-A-V-E. So if you want to use that in the hashtag, hashtag GC9FAVE, toss that in the chat, and we'll talk about what you say. You can also use the hashtag FATAS to bring up things for the after show, which happens, well, after we get done talking about GC9FAVE. That's pretty much when the after show starts. And then, of course, there's the hashtag podcast baking, which I hear is already going. We want to know what you're cooking, right? And we do have podcast drinking. I should say hashtag podcast drinking to tell us what you're sipping tonight.
Wow, there you go. Lots of hashtags to use. The list just keeps on growing.
It grows longer and longer, just like our patrons.
It does.
Indeed. All right. We'll have to have hashtag podcast patrons or something at some point. I don't know what it would be for, but I'm sure. All right. Hey, well, let's chat about GC9FAVE, the locationless cache. It's available to log until December 31st, 2023, the end of this current year.
Nice. Now, the intent is to bring people back to a favorite place. I mean, and quite literally a favorite place, right? Coming back to somewhere you've been and sharing that with others.
Someplace I've been before, like maybe somewhere like GCD.
What do you mean?
I think there was very memories up there.
A GCD?
GCD.
A GCD.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Chris?
Well, something. I think something about GCD. Hey, welcome to Caching in the Northwest. You know, this is the podcast from the birthplace of geocaching right here in the great Pacific Northwest. Now, it's Thursday at 9 p.m. Pacific. I'm Chris of the Northwest, and we're going to talk about geocaches and geocachers from here and all around the globe. So while you're singing along with Sonny and Cher, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
That's right. And tonight we're talking about GC9FAVE, the discovered while geocaching locationless cache. As always, live audience, share your thoughts with us too. We want to hear from you. I'm Wits End. It's time to bring in our recurring Rhesus. Some say he's got you, babe. And others say he won't forget his booties because it's cold out there. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
Well, Chris, what do we want to talk about tonight?
Well, tonight I think we should talk about GC9FAVE, the locationless cache that's available to log until December 31st, 2023.
That gives you the rest of the year to log it, which is good because I haven't logged it yet. But here's what Rock Chalk shared in the geocaching blog about it. It says, by logging this cache, you'll score a rare cache icon and share a favorite local place that you discovered while geocaching. Maybe you'll choose a place where you hid a cache, perhaps somewhere you discovered when searching for a cache. This locationless cache is available to log August 17th, 2022, so last August, until December 31st, 2023, the end of this year.
There you go. And if you have to choose, guys, if you had to choose one place, one favorite place that you would want to log it at, so it sounds clear it needs to be a place you have visited before and that you want to share with others. I'd love to hear what our live audience, what you folks would have as suggestions. Does anybody have suggestions of places where they would that they would want to log, or maybe are planning to log GC9FAVE? Do we have anything that's come up?
Well, while they're thinking of that, I was thinking my very first cache find was with Wits End.
Okay.
And now that go ahead.
Was that Crouching Tiger, Burning Instep or something like that?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And that field where we found it is now a building. So that's really not going to work.
No.
Yeah. The
Things change.
Right. The first place I ever hit a cache has been paved over and the tree's been removed and it's a parking lot and you can't hide a cache in the exact spot.
Are you saying they paved Paradise and put up a parking lot?
Well, no, they didn't pave Paradise, but they did remove the tree that I hit it in. And, yeah.
Oh, too funny.
I do see that Limax's favorite is still the dam that I found that never held water.
That would be interesting.
That's a GC9FAVE.
There you go.
That would be pretty cool.
Over the summer, I found a dam that rarely held water, but it did hold it apparently back in the day.
Yeah.
Yep. There's a comment from Wet Coaster who says, GC9FAVE, why are there 28 trackables in this locationless cache already? And where can I pick them up?
Well, that's a difficulty 9 trackable there.
Indeed, that's funny.
Those are lost forever, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Let's see.
Any other locations where you guys are thinking of maybe doing GC9FAVE?
Well, I remember one that the hike nearly killed Wits End and I. It was an oldie up on Mount Margaret in Snoqualmie.
Oh yeah.
It's the oldest in Washington. Has spectacular
Yeah,
views.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Which
It's called
one's that?
GCD. Hey, welcome to Caching in the Northwest. This is the podcast from the birthplace of geocaching right here in the great Pacific Northwest. Now it's Thursday, 9 p.m. Pacific, and I'm Chris of the Northwest, and we're going to talk about geocaches and geocachers from here and all around the globe. So while you're singing along to Sonny and Cher, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
That's right. And tonight we're talking about GC9FAVE. That's the Discovered While Geocaching Locationless Cache. As always, live audience, we want to hear from you, so share your thoughts on GC9FAVE. I'm Wits End. It's time to bring in our recurring Rhesus. Some say he's got you, babe. And others say he won't forget his booties because it's cold out there. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
Indeed. Hey, let's talk about that GC9FAVE tonight, guys. What do you think?
GC9FAVE. I think so.
Oh, yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Got until December 31st to find that one this year.
You know, and when you find it, you're going to get that finder's souvenir, right?
Yeah.
So you get a souvenir, you get a find, and really, what's involved? It's an easy one.
For sure. And hey, live audience who look really familiar for some reason
they
tonight. If you've logged GC9FAVE, we'd if you've already logged it, we'd love to hear where you've logged it or where you plan to before 2023 runs out on you. Although, honestly, at this rate, it may be a very long year.
It's feeling like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you have any other feedback here?
I think I saw one here. Where did it go?
here's one from
There you go.
Limax.
That's it.
There you go. The GC number of that cache, Ford's Folly, is on the back of my trading card, all my trading cards for going caching.
Oh,
Very
nice.
cool.
Nice.
Very cool.
And I see Doramore. There you go. Doramore says, I logged mine back in August with a return visit to Merritt for some Gold Country caches.
So she felt that merited this cache.
That's the way it appears, yeah.
It does. And it's
Apparently
a beautiful community up there.
Good place to remember.
Brian Lang has a candidate for it. He hasn't done it yet. GC9FAVE is GC9FAVE Hawks View in Abbotsford. His log from his previous visit is there on the screen. It's I won't read the URL.
It looks like Glassy.
it looks
Exactly.
it looks Russian is what it looks like.
Like to buy a vowel.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, that's that particular cache. Folks, if you want to find out more about it, maybe connect with Brian Lang on social media and get some story. But that one is on my list to get to, but it's appropriately named because the trail there is pretty sketchy along the top of a cliff. So
Okay.
yeah, you kind of want to time it for the right time of year.
Well, that explains his comment. He says, I've hiked within meters of the spot many times, but haven't wanted to head to the cache when the ground is wet.
Indeed.
Sounds like one last slip. One bad slip would be your last step or something there. Huh?
I think
You're going to
that's
need
the
more
way.
than a towel is what you're saying, right?
I think, that's basically it. Yeah.
Well, or they can use the towel to scoop up all the parts at the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. UDAC says, I'll have to remember to log it during my last Signals Labyrinth period.
There you go.
There you go. Good thinking.
Kitty Quest says, I'm taking my time to decide where to use it, but I'm thinking I might end up being in Delaware or Northern California. Still pondering.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure those are different spots.
Yeah. Oh,
But I'll
hey,
bet
Helen
there's
from
memorable
Landsharks
spots,
is. Oh,
both of them.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just say
talked
I bet there's memorable spots in both Delaware and California. So that's all.
I would think so.
okay.
Yeah.
A lot of history in Delaware, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Helen from Landsharks is in the chat here tonight. She says they're going to log it in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Hmm.
They visited approximately 2015 with a group of geocaching cruisers, and they visited again last month with another group of geocachers. Very cool.
Wow. Nice.
Very cool.
All right. Well,
Well, Keith said Hawk's View nearly killed me.
Yeah, there you go. Just to add a little support to the stories there.
yeah,
for
I
sure.
was gonna say if he could have killed him, I don't think I stand a chance of seeing that one.
Well, hi, Max says, I hope to be able to see Ford's Folly again when I visit my daughter
Nice.
later this year. I, when you say Ford's Folly, I immediately think of the Edsel.
Nah,
Maybe it's
Right.
an old Edsel sitting out there.
could be.
Yeah,
Some great
Some
feedback
great
there.
ideas.
Oh, what does
Here's
Subway
one.
Mark have here?
Go ahead.
He says, Jim, why don't you go ahead?
the hard part is choosing a place near me, or all the places geocaching has taken me around the U.S. and Canada and the world. There have been many great places, and isn't that true? We've been, it's taken me a lot of great places, and taken you guys a lot of great places.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Well, there's some great chat as always. Love hearing from you guys. You guys are busy tonight already. I'm wondering if there's going to be any other locationless cache this year.
Ooh, that's a good question. Yeah, there was in the last 2 years, 3 in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
'Cause there was Neat,
But
GC8 Neat,
right. GC Neat, GC8 Neat, GC8 Frog,
and
There you
now
go.
9
GC9FAVE.
Fave.
And I think those are the only 3.
so far.
Yeah, so far. Now,
So far.
I have to ask, just because I have a poor memory. I know Wits End, you've got a couple of locationless caches because you introduced me to them, and I went out and found a couple back when they were still active. Land Monkey, do you have any?
Sorry, I
have
was
any-
reading the chat and I didn't catch the question you just asked me. Go ahead.
Oh, I got them. I win.
You did. You caught me. What's up?
Do you have any locationless cache finds before the new ones came out?
No. These are all these are the only ones I have.
Yeah, because
Okay.
we're both old enough to have, caching old enough to have had some back before they were all archived.
Let me tell you, Sonny,
That's
when we had to write things down.
Back
your
when we
locationless
started, we
cache off
printed
my
out
lawn.
all the
You printed out the locationless caches?
Absolutely.
That's funny. I guess you could. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
instructions you need to follow.
I remember one of mine was a round building, and my bank right near me is a round building. It's like, well, that's easy. I know where a round building is.
There you go. That worked out. The one thing that was going on when we first started were the challenges, and then
Mhm.
those got retired shortly
Thank you.
after we started.
Yeah, those were interesting.
Yeah, not to be confused with challenge caches. Oh wow!
Oh,
Chris from
that's
Landshark
cool.
says they have 14 from the old style.
Mhm.
Wow, impressive.
That's very cool.
All right.
So, yeah, the challenges. Okay, so I want to say it was it during the first block party when challenges were introduced? Does that seem right? Because I had a challenge that you could come up to the Caching in the Northwest booth and tell me your favorite Northwest cache into the recorder, and you would qualify for the challenge and you could log it.
We got a lot of great material doing that.
Yeah,
at the booth.
actually we did. So yeah, we used to start the show way back when with the audio of somebody saying what their favorite Northwest cache is.
Right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, we should do that again sometime. That was fun.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, you need to have
That's
people
true.
call in.
Oh, there we go. BC Rock Crawler says, I have 16, even the infamous yellow Jeep.
Ah,
I didn't know the yellow Jeep was a locationless. Unless it's a different one than I'm thinking.
it's
Find a yellow Jeep.
infamous. It's more than famous.
Beyond famous.
Extra famous.
Yeah,
Well, all those are very interesting.
yeah.
Let's see. Limax said he was taking a break from geocaching during the challenges, so he missed him entirely.
Right.
All those are interesting for sure. And I've got some idea where I would want to put mine this year, but I'll have to wait until after the snow melts to get up there.
Oh, somewhere like, I don't know what, Snoqualmie Pass up high like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe around Lake Keeshalis, maybe near the Ape Cache.
Yeah, I love that spot up there.
That's a good spot up there. Yeah.
Very good. All right. Well,
You know, you can't log it for an event, so
yeah, good point. Because I was wondering if you could log for an event or not. According to Rock Chalk's entry in the geocaching blog that we were reading earlier, it says once you've visited your favorite local spot, follow these steps. You go to the locationless cache page. They've got a link there in the blog page that you go to. And then by searching for GC9FAVE on geocaching.com or in the geocaching app, those are all the various ways you can get to the GC9FAVE page.
Okay.
And then it says, in order to log a find, you must include one photo of yourself or a personal item at your favorite local place that you discovered while geocaching. Old photos are not permitted, so you have to revisit.
Well,
and then he says, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna play devil's advocate. And how would you know it's an old photo unless it, Polaroid, or it's got the old timestamp on there and from the Kodak cameras?
So I learned something interesting not too long ago. There are lackeys who review every locationless cache entry on these new locationless caches. They look at every log, and if they determine that that is not a current photo, you could have your log deleted. And apparently they are deleting logs. So
I just wonder, are they looking at XF data from the photos or just determining?
I don't know the methodology, but I know they are. I think it's the lackey that annoyed Brian the most gets that job.
Oh yeah, that would do it.
Or the lackey that maybe said the wrong cache name during a podcast. I don't know. But yeah, so you must include a photo of yourself. No old photos. It says to be sure to in your log to tell where the place is located. So for example, if it's in the city of Prague, or GC code of the geocache, as long as there's not a spoiler in the photo.
No sporty cars. Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be a spoiler in a photo.
And then there's one other thing here. If you go to the cache description on GC9FAVE, it says there's bonus points for including a geocaching logo in your photos.
Okay. Is that kind of like the whose line is it anyway points? Or
I'm wondering.
Drew Carey makes them up and the points don't matter?
In this case, the lackeys make them up and the points don't matter.
There you go. Well, so overall, though, it seems pretty clear it's a place. I mean, it can be a place you really enjoyed visiting for an event, but it has to be, as you said, a new picture taken specifically for this GC9FAVE locationless cache. You can't reuse an older picture.
Yeah.
But what if you took an old picture with you to the location and took a new picture with the old picture in the new picture, and it would be like...
And the geocaching logo as well. So for your bonus points. So you're
line up
pushing the boundaries on the rules,
yeah,
and you're getting the bonus points.
It'd be like GC9FAVE Inception.
Yeah, it'd be like, I don't know, some other GC, I'm sure.
Yeah, you line up the old photo with the features in the background, so that it matches seamlessly, and then
that would be cool. That would be cool. Keats actually just asked a good question. Does it have to be the site of a geocache? And it does not.
No, it does not. So you could do Disneyland, right? You can't hide a cache there,
right?
But you could, have a place that you'd like to go back.
Someplace you've always wanted to hide a cache,
right?
But can't.
All right. Okay. Dora Moore says that she awards bonus points for photos on her virtual cache and awards them via direct message.
She probably gives away favorite points. Here, have an extra favorite point.
There you go. Very kind.
Starcacher says they probably look at the sun angle for the time of day and year and determine when it was really taken. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
That's it. I'm sure that's
By
what
the
it is.
stars.
Check
and
the
sun.
weather. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, this was
There's
supposed
no
to be
way.
taken July 2nd. That was a cloudy day. This is in sunlight. Nope, not accepting this one.
That's right. Yeah. The sun was hitting Mount Margaret just about this angle. And up on,
I was wrong.
on
There is a
past.
cache in Disneyland. Disneyland. It's just for the boys. Disneyland.
Disneyland.
Disneyland. There's an Earth cache in Disneyland.
I have done
Used to
some.
be a virtual, apparently.
I've done the virtual. There was a yeah.
Sounds familiar.
And there are virtuals at Walt Disney World.
Yes, that I have done.
One of my favorites in Disneyland, well, technically Disney California Adventure.
Mhm.
I don't believe it's even there anymore. I don't think the entire exhibit anymore, but it used to be a farming exhibit, and there were tractors that you could climb and sit in the seat, And most modern farm equipment has GPS on board, and there was a fake GPS display in the cab of this tractor with coordinates on it. And if you went to those coordinates, it was a city plaque out in Anaheim outside the park that somebody used that as a multi-step virtual or multi-step cache. It was really cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
There you go. The discussion continues about how they'll validate the photos. Wet Coaster says the lackeys just go over the reviewer drone footage of the area to see if you were actually at that location. That's a good point. Didn't think about that. That would work too.
My Mac says I missed the tractor one. I couldn't figure that out.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to go back and find which one that was and find my log.
Brian Lang says they use Chat GPT to figure out if the photo is with log is legit or
I'm
not.
sure that's what it is.
Have you guys played with Chat GPT?
I have not, but I've heard it discussed quite a bit in different friend groups.
It is absolutely amazing. I'm hearing, no, it just regurgitates data. No, it is creative. It's coming up with brand new ideas and thoughts based on input. I'm absolutely shocked at what it can do. So, I don't know if you know, but I'm into podcasting. So I asked it to write a 3-person podcast script about winter safety and include the 10 essentials. And guess what? It did. It made a script that was readable and you could follow along, and 3 people dialogued back and forth. I'm looking at it going, okay, we're done.
We're out of a job. Yeah. Oh dear.
Yeah, I know I've got this off course, but I'm just amazed at what Chat GPT can do. Brian Link says, I played with Chat GPT and used it to write some code for me for a project I was working on. It wasn't 100% correct, and I had to debug it, but it did most of the heavy lifting.
Wow.
Now, Brian Lang, I would use Codex, which is in the same family as Chat GPT, but it's designed for programming.
Very good. Very good.
So there you go. Okay. So I'm done with Chat GPT. We can go on and talk about geocaching. So you know what? You could use it to write your event or log or your cache descriptions.
That would be interesting. Just have all your logs written by Chat GPT from now on.
I wonder if you could have it tell you a good spot to hide a cache based on other cache locations. Tell me where I should hide this.
But does it do that? Does it use geolocation information? I thought it was just text.
Would not surprise me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So I know almost nothing about it. I know you said you're done talking about it, but like,
okay, so we're not.
From?
This is from a company called OpenAI. It is a true AI model. All the information loaded was 2021 and earlier. So there's no current information about it. But I listened to a podcast, a security podcast, that said, you know what? They interviewed ChatGPT and said, what do you think? Tell us the 10 most impactful security events that happened prior to 2021. And it came up with very good information and explained why those were impactful, mostly because of the size of, the exploit. And then went on to ask it, what could the companies have done to prevent this? And it came out with, you could have installed this Microsoft patch, you could have patched this, and I mean, I was just amazed at, like, you know what? This made sense. It didn't say anything wrong. There were a couple times it was a little too generic.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't know. Yeah, White Coaster's asking if it's passed the Turing test. It sounds like it's awfully close if it hasn't.
It's passed a medical exam. It can
say
be
much for the state of our medical profession.
Yeah, exactly. Some people said it's also passed the bar, but I don't think it has.
That's weird.
But IHAM says, could it write a glow? Oh, I'm sure it can.
Maybe it already has.
Ooh, how would we know, right?
That's right.
So I guess we have to send Chat GPT a glow badge.
Glow, say it ain't so.
Indeed. I'm with you, Andy. And Keats made a comment earlier saying that he believes there's still a human quality to the technological universe.
Definitely is.
So,
yeah,
I would agree.
But using this for writing, I mean, teachers are afraid of it. But my wife said there was one teacher who turned it around. Right here's an essay prompt. Let's put it into Chat GPT. I want you to take the weakest paragraph and rewrite it. So let's go ahead and use the tool. But you need to
apply some human interface to it there. Yeah, that's good.
MC3 Cat says, I bet it could write the show notes. Yeah, it probably could.
How do you know it didn't?
But it just can't talk about anything recent. So it doesn't know anything about GC9FAVE.
You know what? I'm wondering if it's actually just, does anybody in the chat exist? Is this just Chat GPT that we're pretending to be all our friends?
I don't think I want to know
getting
the
a little meta.
GPT, geocaching people test. Oh, yeah. That really makes me scared. Maybe we're not really having a conversation with anybody. And we're just talking to ourselves and think we're doing well. Audience GPT. Look, a glitch in the matrix. We're not supposed to see the machine code.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, sorry guys, I got us distracted there, but I'm just amazed at what it can do, and it's kind of fun to
that was fun.
Go and ask it something like, go explain SSL encryption as a stoner surfer dude. And it will.
Well, that's it. I guess my day job is replaced then. So.
Yeah, pretty much. You write documentation all day long
as a stoner surfer dude. Yeah,
as a stoner surfer dude.
Dude, too funny.
As you're searching the web, it's just like a big wave.
So as we get retargeted back on course here a little bit. So if I'm correct, of us three hosts, none of us have logged the GC9FAVE yet.
No,
I have not.
I have not.
All right, but we have some ideas of places we might do that.
A few.
I haven't really nailed one down yet for myself.
To
be honest, I kind of almost forgot about it until putting the show notes together, and then I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to remember to do that sometime this year.
I completely forgot about it because there's no time frame, or it's
no urgency.
There's no urgency, and it's a little nebulous to me.
Yeah.
Right. I understand why. Oh, okay, that's cool. But it's just like, yeah, I'll get to it.
As one does. Okay. What else?
Well, the audience has been quite chatty tonight.
Mm-hmm.
GPT.
Yeah, sorry about that, folks. We kind of derailed things there a little bit. It was interesting. So we asked something earlier, whether we thought there might be another locationless cache that comes out this year. Oh, there's some more great stuff coming in the chat. We'll jump into that shortly. But if there were to be another locationless cache that came out, what do you think? What do you think would come out? What do you think would be? So they've had kind of one that was kind of like a Ceto.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They had Frog, which was take a photo with particular signal banners or the signal in the costume.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Wait, that was a costume?
No.
No, it was a GPT chat Frog.
Okay.
Or the current one, which is kind of like a virtual cache in a way. It's like, identify, share with everybody a really interesting location, which to me is kind of like either Adventure Labs or a virtual cache. So one's been kind of like a Ceto. One's been kind of like
takes the heart of the original location list, right? The original location list could happen anywhere. So I know I did the round building. I know I did. There was one where you had to have take your pictures with lions outside a door, stone lions. And my neighbors down the street have 2 small lions at the entrance to their sidewalk. Okay, that was easy enough. So the idea is, I think it brings you back to true location lists, that the location is what draws you there, right? But that location is personal to you.
Right. Okay.
CMAC Tribe says, when do we or you guys derail the podcast?
Never happens.
No.
You should see our notes. We're following it exactly
To the letter. We're actually just reading. We're reading everything Chat GPT put together for us tonight.
And it's still updating the show notes. Who knew?
Yeah. Too funny.
So anyway, I did I interrupt you, Land Monkey? It's a different idea, but I think it captures the essence of a true location list. So have you noticed the new caches coming out are GCA now?
Oh, I hadn't been paying that close attention.
We jumped to A. So, you could do something like GC Aki and take your picture with a lackey.
With a lackey? Or G-Khaki?
G-Khaki. G-Lackey with no vowels.
There you go.
I was trying to think of something with 10, it was GC8, Frog 9, Fave 10. GC10 is. Take your picture with a tennis court. No.
I thought you meant like tenuous, like take your picture of something that's stressing you out.
GC tentative. You're not quite sure if you're going to log that one.
Yeah.
GC A. I think we're up to. We'd have to do 4. So GC A DNF or something. This is where I didn't find a geocache, so I get to put a virtual here.
My favorite place that I didn't find one.
There you go. Helen says a GC9FAVE option would be logging in at the shark store on your next visit to the island. There's a good suggestion.
Good idea.
Wet Coaster says, so no urgency. Just like my virtual cache I haven't created yet.
There you go.
Pitter patter. I think you got a month to do that. But Brian had it in there somewhere. March 1st.
And JCar. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I've got March 1st. So not a lot of time, a month. Yeah.
No,
not even a full month.
No.
A little bitty February month.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, come on. How many months have 28 days in them?
Yeah. Well, technically all of them.
Yeah. JCar says, how about a picture with a yellow Jeep?
Sure.
It could be a Jeep, right? GC a Jeep.
Any Jeep.
You're going to have to go get a promotion back with the company, right?
Yeah. Or Brian suggests GC A B C D E. Take a picture with the alphabet.
That's right. ABC 1 2 3.
Yeah, someone's going to get those codes.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, let's see.
Oh, grab Start Cachers. He's actually got a legitimate answer.
Oh, Wits End, do you want to read that one?
Let me see. I'm thinking about making the Fulton County Fairgrounds as my location, as that is where the Midwest Geobash is held. I attended 8 of these megas and have spent more than 3 weeks total there. That sounds like a worthy location for GC9FAVE.
It sounds like Ohio. You can spend 3 weeks there in a day,
Yeah.
especially Toledo, Ohio. I spent a week there one day.
Yeah.
Did you?
I thought it was a nice touch here. Keats said, I think I might pick the place where my parents got married.
Oh, I missed that one.
Isn't
Yeah,
that lovely?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's a nice sentiment.
And of course,
Very cool.
Wetcoaster wants to know, when was the podcast ever on the rails?
Well, that's a thing. Fair enough.
Just be careful of the third rail.
Yeah.
I won't tell you which
on
one of the hosts is the third rail.
The
I've
one
been a
that
third
carries the
wheel.
most current.
Yeah. I've been a third wheel before.
So Brian says there's some rails at Monte Cristo if you
Yes,
need
there
them.
were.
Yeah,
That was
you can
fun.
push them around too.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Saturday night in Toledo, Ohio. It's like being nowhere at all.
Yeah. They roll back the sidewalks precisely at 10, and people who live there.
I
don't
like
see 'em
Helen.
again.
GC10 Move. Take a
Yeah.
picture with an EV or an e-bike or a horse or camel.
Some mode of transport.
Yeah.
Planes, trains,
that
automobiles.
That's
Maybe
an
not
interesting
in-
one.
internal combustion engine.
Yeah. Very cool.
Let's see. Seabeck Tribe says getting a picture with a lackey would be fairly easy on the western side of the state.
Yeah.
She's referring to Washington. Yeah.
For sure. I mean, I guess technically any mega that you can get to,
Right.
there will almost always be a lackey in attendance. There you go. We're getting. So Brian says GC10 Move may not come around for many, many decades based on the selection methodology. We'd have to get people to place an awful lot of caches before we can get to that, I guess is his point.
Keats
Yeah.
is thinking GC10 train.
There you go.
Which would take even longer. But, well, the way trains go when Keats is on them, he probably has time.
GC10 Move with a subway or a subway mark.
Yeah.
There you go.
Says subway mark.
Indeed.
I mean, yes, technically we have to roll through all the combinations to get up to there, but couldn't Geocaching HQ just force a special code if they want to?
I would imagine they could.
GC9 train. Okay, so BC Rock Crawler.
Yes.
There are some of the locationless caches: historic forts, totem pole, firefighting vehicle mailboxes, skate parks, murals around the world, hometown, Yellow Jeep Fever, Canadian base network.
Oh,
So
those are
those
ones
were-
that he's found.
Yeah, those were some that he's found.
Cool.
Nice. Yeah, I looked back at my stats. I have 9, but I think a couple of those are the most recent ones. But overall, I have 9.
Very cool.
As in GC9FAVE, which you have until December 31st to find.
You win tonight. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Why do I have Sonny and Cher in my brain?
I don't know.
But it is cold out there.
Yeah.
Man, it's cold in here.
It is. Yeah.
My
My studio's
studio.
pretty chilly too.
I've got a heater going down at my feet here. Hey, folks, I want to say thank you so much for joining us tonight as we talked about GC9 Fave.
A few
And
times.
we hoped you enjoyed this episode of Caching in the Northwest.
Yes, I want to take a moment to thank Land Sharks. I see that they're watching live tonight, and also Gold Country Geotourism. Those are our 2 corporate Denali level sponsors. Remember, LANDSHARKZ.ca is the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. Check them out online. Remember, they are shipping those online orders daily. And for absolutely amazing geocaching adventures, check out Explore Gold Country Downcom, exploregoldcountry.com, and or explore Gold Country downcom and .load the app to your phone.
Easy for you to
All
say.
right. No, it
Oh,
wasn't.
you know what?
Apparently.
I sure like that we don't read, or we don't have these pre-recorded, right? We're reading them live. I just wanted to prove that to you. Well, actually, Land Monkey wanted to prove that to you.
I did. I have a lot of things to prove.
Yeah, that's right.
I also want to thank all of our faithful Denali level supporters: Land Sharks, Gold Country Geotourism, Team Squirrel, Groovy Owl, and Cashly, the geocaching app. And folks, if you want to know more about, I'm done. Can we start over? GCD.
No, we can't. Why would you want to start over?
Dang.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Well, I tried. If you want to know more about supporting this show, click that Patreon link on the cachingandw.com, a website.
That's right. And we have people like Just Finding Our Way.
And LG9000.
And GSM ×2.
And our newest patron, I'm not sure if it's pronounced RAR, RAR 285. So RAR 285. Welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard, and thank you very much.
Awesome.
I'd like to also thank our continuing list of geocaches,
And Ackerdoc,
You, Dak,
Korsgat,
U-Talks, 2 Rocks,
and Sprouter. We have to remind him to turn over if he's still
ring the
tan.
bell.
Ding,
Antaeus,
Kid Vegas 19,
Trexer,
Segehov,
M-Nerve,
Peach of Washington, I think.
let's see, Flagman,
Tick Meganet,
Team Noltex.
MC3 Cats.
the entire Camp Clan,
Yes.
Oh, yes.
growing,
Yes, it is. And GC10 Train or Subway Mark.
How about Donners?
and Greenwords.
Alarobrick.
Doramore,
And if you're a spilly drinker, you'll need a wet coaster.
Keats 94.
Kennel Barb,
Skyhawker,
Whidbey Island Gal.
Kev MacD,
Boomer 365,
Seebeck Tribe.
GeoNav Pro,
Genies,
Wino Seattle.
Limax,
Kitty Quest,
Just have to mix things up, don't you? Logwork.
Gas Station Tuna,
Ari 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
Fairwood West.
B Pendragon.
J-Car.
And CRS 98.
Thank you, all of them. Boy, that list is just growing and growing. Thank you so much
Yeah.
to everybody.
That's amazing.
We couldn't
you to
have all
everyone.
this fun Thursday without you.
No. I take a minute to say thank you to all the patrons and to all the listeners. Thank you. This show is so much fun because, you're here and you watch, you listen, and give feedback. So thank you for all you do.
For sure.
And I say thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Your support helps keep the quality show coming. If you like the show, click the Patreon link on the cachingandw.com website. If you didn't like the show, let us know what you want to talk about. In either case, you need to subscribe. You have to. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and more. Subscribe and give us a review. If you were in a restaurant, you would tip. If you were in a live audience, you would clap. But since you're on a podcast, leave us a free, fast, fabulous, fantastic 5-star review. You can also call into 253-693-TFTC and leave us a comment, ask us questions, or meet us on the streets of Puxatawny any time of the day or night. And of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingandw.com. Join us every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Pacific for a live show and sometimes livelier chatters. Yeah. The show is produced by Chris Humpenauer, Jim Paulitz, and Jay Kennedy. It's licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2023 by Chris Humpenauer. And folks, I ask you to stay tuned for
The After Show.
I was curious which button you were going to press.
I can press it again. Here, you want it without the graphics?
The After Show.
I was wondering if you were going to accidentally press the reboot button. That's all.
No, that's down here on my computer, and that's never good.
Oh, okay. Good thing. What do we have for
Thanks,
Fatassis?
Limax.
There you go.
Ah,
Limax is either he's clapping or he has the clap. I'm not sure which it is.
I'm assuming he's clapping because he is in a live audience.
It's the sound of one hand clapping.
I watch. I listen. I comment. I do.
He does.
We thank you.
We had UDAC had a podcast drinking earlier. Red wine tonight.
Oh,
Very
nice.
Very classy. UDAC's bringing class to the podcast.
It's like a song.
Red wine.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Did we do this one from Limax? My favorite is still the dam I found that never held water.
I thought that was one of the first ones we mentioned, but maybe
I
not.
thought it was. It was a while ago, and I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
So I was in, where was I this last summer? This park, Joshua Tree.
Oh,
And there is a dam there, but it did actually hold water. They used it for grazing cattle, and they'd come over and drink it. And I'm looking around going, they would graze cattle here? Why? There's nothing for them to eat except some sage. Is this even possible? Or I'm thinking, has it changed that much? Did there used to be green grass and I've come in the middle of summer and everything's dead? And I just was thinking about that. I'm like, well, why? There's nothing here.
indeed.
Okay. Back to podcast drinking. Subway Mark is drinking a Guinness.
Ooh, there you go.
I think
That's a good winter beer.
could be a book of records. I don't know.
Yeah. That would be a little tough to get down the throat.
Good fiber with a little water in a blender.
Yeah. Okay. Will it blend?
Yeah. I mean, Guinness is thick. So
Podcast
Talking
smoke.
about will it
Don't
blend
breathe this.
recently. I can't remember what.
I
prompted it.
mentioned it too. And I go, I wonder what happened to that guy. Wonder what
Yeah.
he's doing now.
Got a podcast baking here. Blueberry raspberry crisp. Yummy. That sounds good.
Kyle, well, when are we coming over?
Yeah. Ding dong.
Now, here is a combination podcast baking and FATAS from Chris at Landsharks. Helen's baking set off the smoke detector. I'm not sure what she's baking. I hope it's something yummy.
I'll bet it is.
It's hard to go wrong when Helen's baking, that's for sure. UDAC asked a good question.
If she's baking, then it's not Nanaimo bars because those are non-bake.
You caught on. UDAC asks a question for all of us here. Have you earned a 2023 Hider souvenir yet? I have not yet. You
I have
have,
not.
Chris?
Yeah, by hosting an event.
Oh, that's right. Good job.
Yeah. Jim?
I have not. No.
You have not yet. I have not, but Fraser Valley Cash Bash is coming up, so I know I will. I'm not in a rush.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? We should talk about hosting an event. We're in the FATAS. We can do this, right?
Yeah. We can do whatever we want. It's our podcast.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We can
In
even
a
start the whole
mere-
thing over again if we wanted.
In a mere 4 weeks, we're going to be on episode 500, folks.
What?
500 episodes. That's almost an episode a day for 2 years.
It's a lot.
So we want to throw a bash, an event, a gala, if you will, for our 500th event.
As
Or
one does.
500th show. So I've rented out a theater right here in Little Tacoma, the Blue Mouse Theater.
Great theater.
Oh, it's a great old theater, very Art Deco styled, yet modern. So I haven't posted the event yet, but at 7:30, you'll be able to come and attend for an hour or so, and then we'll get set up and we'll do a live podcast right there from the theater from 9 to 10 o'clock.
Wow. So this is an exclusive scoop for those who are listening to the after show that they should try and be in the Tacoma area on Again, what was the date, Chris?
March 2nd,
March 2nd.
which is a Thursday, oddly enough, for the podcast.
There you go. So it'll run live out of that theater. We're working on lining up some special guests for it as well. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, very exciting. 500 episodes.
Can you believe it? Let's see. Subway Mark is planning a trip to Victoria over Memorial Day weekend in May. The Landshark store is a must stop.
Indeed.
And it could be a GC9FAVE.
It could be.
It could.
Did you say that right? Very monster truck style.
Yes. Thousands of tons of fave.
Keats is working on a music theme cache series because, you know, he didn't have enough to do with an Adventure Lab series across the highway. That he thought, you know, a cache series is kind of fun.
There you go. Good for Keats. That's awesome.
Are they going to be musical notes
Don't know.
with some sharps and some flats?
So we'll have to wait and
Could be.
see. Well, if you drive over some sharps, you'll have some flats.
That's right.
That's right.
All right.
Wet Coaster wants to know, does episode 500 have puppets?
To be determined.
Yeah.
We never know.
Sunday, Sunday,
There
Sunday.
you go.
I'll pick you up my natural burning footy car. Hey, I went back, for those that remember way back when I talked about the Disney California Adventure tractor cache.
Mm-hmm.
It was called Field 159, GC
Oh.
Alpha Foxtrot Beta Beta. So ACBB.
So even though it's archived, you could still look it up if you were curious.
You can view it. In fact, the cache description says this cache has been locked, but it is available for viewing. Apparently, I found it in 2005.
Very cool.
Land Monkey was just a wee tyke.
Yep. Just a little bratty monkey flinging my poo about.
Pooh, fling it now.
That's right.
Well, there's so much going on in the chat. I'm not sure. You guys are talking to each other.
Yeah,
this is
which is
great.
awesome.
It's
Yeah.
great. It's a community.
It is. Well, and we're up against the hour, so I think we're just about there.
Okay.
You look pensive.
Doramore,
Chris.
I think, is talking about the geocaching event for episode 500. So that's tempting. I even have my passport again. It only took 16 days to renew.
Wow, that's pretty fast for the
Mhm.
state of the passport office lately.
Or the
Good.
province of the passport office. Isn't that how you have to say it up there?
It is, yes. Well, that's their responsibilities of the province. The state is its condition.
Let's see what
Oh, hey,
condition my
folks.
condition is in.
Oh. Thank you for joining us this evening on this Groundhog's Day. And until next week, or maybe again today, get out and get caching in the Northwest.